How much, if at all, did the matchup earlier this year in Milwaukee play into the way you guys played tonight?
Not much, because Giannis didn't play, but just a sense of urgency on early in the game, getting to their shooters and just trying to make it tough on them. Obviously, Ryan had a great game last time when Giannis was out and dominated the whole game, but it was more the recipe for how we're supposed to win games compared to the Clipper game. We made more shots, but it was the same kind of vibe. Good defense, low turnovers, trying to keep them off the offensive glass, and you'd hope that would add up to a win.
You made a ton more shots this game than against the Clippers. I think you're like league average three-pointers, as a team this year. Do you feel like you're better than that?
I mean, you're only as good as the shots that go in. So, I'd like to have the confidence and the belief that we are, but it's trying to create good shots, consistent good looks for good shooters. You stick with that, you'd hope that would build over the course of a stretch of games. But I'd like to have the belief, but you got to go, knock down shots.
Steph, how welcome was it to see Melton go off for 22 and for what Al gave you guys off the bench?
Yeah, those two guys weren't available much or at all early in the year, and they're both trying to find their legs, their rhythm, but you can see how much of a difference they can make off the bench. And I think those two guys like surrounding Jimmy with those two, and kind of you pick the next two. Like it's a good recipe for shooting high IQ guys, and then defensively they both know what to do on that end.
How much have you kind of mapped out this 8-game homestand, looked at it, in its full capacity, or are you just trying to go one game at a time?
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even know who we play next.
Kings on Friday.
I honestly have no clue. We had a rough flight back from LA and that whole situation. So all energy was just trying to get through tonight. But I know we play pretty much every other day. But the opponents, I would have failed that quiz.
How rough was the flight? You guys got in the air too and had to turn around, right?
Yeah, we got home safe, so nobody's really complaining about it. But it was not ideal down there and on the way back.
Steph, that's 2 games in a row now where you guys have had under double-digit turnovers. I was wondering, what has been the biggest difference these last 2 games when it comes to keeping those turnovers low?
I think everybody individually would have to speak to what their focus is. I think for me and Draymond, especially with the way that we play, it's just being sure about your passes, and we're going to take some risks. I'm going to throw a behind-the-back pass. I'm going to throw a full-court pass. But it's throughout the meat of the game, it's trying to just play under control. And just, as Coach Kerr would say, hit singles, let everything kind of work itself out with, good decision-making, fundamental basketball, mixed with our tendency to have a little chaos.
Steph, it felt like towards the end there, that last shot had a chance to kind of do a celebration we haven't seen in a while, the night. Do you feel like that's a sign that maybe some fun's beginning to return to a stretch of the season where you guys are starting to put together a good stretch of basketball?
I mean, the more you win, the more everybody feels good, the more momentum you pick up. The vibes are, immaculate, as they say. Draymond actually hit me with it before I even had a chance to, so I was just shadowing him. But yeah, you want to feel good about yourself, and sometimes you might have to force it a little bit, like get yourself going and make sure you're having fun through some of the ups and downs that we've had this year.
Steph, following up the earlier question on DeAnthony, why is he such a good fit here? Obviously he's a good player, but last year, even in the small sample size, you and Steve and others were pretty emphatic that he made sense on this team. What about his game sort of meshes, do you think, with the way you play?
He's just versatile. Defensively, he can guard on the ball, point of attack. He plays passing lanes. He's just smart, quick on his feet, and got a crazy, wingspan that he can be a pest out there. And then offensively, he's a solid knockdown shooter, catch and shoot, but he's one of the few that has a pace to him when he puts the ball on the floor that he can create something. I think he got to the lane, had a nice little wide finish, in the paint tonight off a 4 or 5 dribble sequence, and then he bailed us out of a possession in the fourth quarter with just creating some out of nothing. And his confidence is, he knows he belongs. He's a, prototypical like starting 2 guard. And he's played on good teams, so he knows, what that level is like. And I'm happy that he's healthy and able to, do it for us.
Hey, Steph, right here, please. Draymond popped up on the injury report with a sprained ankle. He was questionable, but it looked like he really wanted this Giannis matchup. And he said afterward, he doesn't know how many more of these matchups he has. He wants to relish that. How do you see Draymond thinking about the time he has left, and if that's something you identify with too?
Yeah, it's little things like that get you motivated. I know him, and Jimmy have had conversations just about how much fun we still have, playing at this level, chasing something meaningful. And whether it's an individual matchup or a big game or like trying to pull yourself out of a period of averageness that we're in right now, like that's what keeps us going. So, Draymond's tough. He's a dog. For him in a regular season type of situation with a guy like Giannis on the other side to show up the way he did is unbelievable. It's kind of, the heart of a champion, for lack of a better term.
Steve was saying before the game that his mom was really upset with him for the explosion the other night. I'm curious, in your career, has your mom ever been really mad at something you have said or done on the floor?
100%. And then after the game, that's a hard phone call to pick up. You kind of want to just, ignore it, but because you know what's coming for sure. So that's what moms do, keep you honest.
When was she most upset in your pro career?
Probably the Houston series in the playoffs. I did the This Is My House. Right into the camera, too. It was no plausible deniability there at all.
Hey, Steph, to your right. So this was the first of an 8-game homestand, like we mentioned. How big was it to bounce back from, a tough game Monday, get this one? And how big an opportunity is this 8-game homestand? You guys have played well here just to kind of get some momentum going.
Not trying to put it lightly. It's huge. Considering how the first 20 or so games were, they were crazy road heavy. We were all over the place. The density of games and the amount of travel and all that. Now you're able to kind of make up for that with this homestand. The temptation is to relax or just show up, and just because you're at home, feeling like you're going to get a win. But thankfully, we should be mature enough to know that we're in this position because we haven't shown a level of consistency, and our record reflects that. So we can do something about it with this stretch of games and just take it one game at a time and do what we need to do.
Steph, to follow up, Nick, Steve said his 91-year-old mother actually thought he was going to hit the ref. Do you think it's good that she's still on him? And did you think that was one of the more fired up times you've seen him?
Oh, no, I've seen worse for sure. I couldn't tell you exactly when, but I know it's been worse. But that's a good mother-son relationship. That she's watching every game and locked in, and cares as much as he does to call him out on it too. But we needed that fire, so Mrs. Kerr, we forgive him for sure.